Okay. So, Home Alone 3. Home Alone 3. So, I did this to myself. I said I would review Home Alone 3. I haven't watched it since back in 1998 when it first came out on home video. Haven't watched it since, which tells me I had good sense, because watching it now, look, it's not overly terrible, but there's just... I can't believe that John Hughes wrote this. The man who wrote the 16 Candles and Breakfast Club. I've never seen 16 Candles, I don't want to mention that. Weird Science and Vacation and the first two Home Alones. This is so dumbed down that, you remember what Macaulay Culkin called the wet bandits in the first two films? I'm down here, you big horse's ass. Here it's like stupid dumb idiot or something like that. It's like way dumbed down, and the what do you call the whole traps and everything, way dumbed down, except for not really like they should be dead. I mean, there are various times. I mean, there's a couple times like when Marv gets hit with the brakes or electrocuted, and some other ones where you're like, oh, they should be fucking dead. But here, almost every single thing made me say fucking dead. They should be dead, 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 dead. And so our main character is Alex. And let me tell you the plot here, because let me tell you, does the start of this sound anything like a Home Alone film? These four criminals have stolen this special chip from the Air Force, special computer chip from the Air Force, that they're going to sell to some guy in Hong Kong who happens to be Korean, based in Hong Kong for some reason. But they hide it inside of a remote controlled car, which some lady mistakenly grabs, even though she has no reason to, and then the crooks have to get it back. Does that sound like Home Alone to you? Add the rest of the plot where this old lady, Mrs. Hess, she gives the remote control car to her neighbor Alex, who shoveled the snow for her, and because she didn't want to pay him money. And so now the crooks have to get it back from Alex. But look, they tried to carbon copy the McAllisters as much as possible. There's not a million freaking family members, but they are kind of carbon copies. Alex is basically Kevin, but without all the charm and creativeness that Macaulay Culkin had. There's a discount Buzz, who's not as mean and not as clever with the wit. Scarlett Johansson is in this as the sister, and as far as I can tell, they made her the Les Incompetents girl. But there's one scene where they're both like harassing Kevin or trying to be creepy towards him. It's a little creepy, but I don't know. And then you have the dad, who could be discount Peter McAllister. He's got the kind of short, curly light hair. He's the dad from Smart House. So he's the only character I cared about in this, really, because he got stuck at the airport trying to get back home, and he's the only one I cared about where he was going. And even at the end of the film, when he comes back, I'm like, the dad made it home! Because I was so happy. So, these crooks decide to scope out this neighborhood, because they somehow figure out what neighborhood this lady belongs to. And they were in San Francisco, and had to go to Chicago because it's John Hughes. And so they somehow tracked this woman. They got all this technology, which makes you think they should be weary of the stuff going on. And the leader guy, Broju, whatever his name is, he does catch one of the traps, but it doesn't matter because there's a backup plan, and then he just doesn't pay attention for the whole rest of the climax. Which makes me think, like, why did they add that little bit of him? Oh, look, I found this. If he's not going to catch any other trap in the rest of the climax, it makes no sense. So, to try to blend in, they buy this empty house and they steal this dog. Now, that's one of the biggest problems I have with this, is because Alex knows the dog is stolen. The person who owns the dog knows it was kidnapped. And they're walking this dog every day. Yet, are never caught with it. Bullshit. It's a very known dog in a small neighborhood that they say is only have like a one-way street. There's no way that not one of those people, besides Alex, would notice the dog. I'll say that, one of the biggest complaints about the first two films is that Kevin didn't call the cops. At least in the first one. That Kevin didn't call the cops when the stuff started happening. Well, here, Alex does call the cops. Twice. But because if the cops caught the criminals, the movie would be over, they gotta be gone before the cops show up. And I'm saying, kid, take a picture or something. So he gets the recorder, the camcorder out, and he puts it on the little car thing, and he does record them, but the guy gets the tape because, again, the movie will be over. But then he calls the Air Force and gives them the number, and now they believe something's going on because it's a number for the stolen chip. So, I just love the scene where they tell the family, which somehow they found the school, and they think it's the older brother, which they're stupid. And they're like, they tell them the entire plot, they're just sitting there like what? And, okay, so, yeah. The entire climax was full of these traps that should fucking kill these people, yet they survive. Why? Because it's a PG movie, it's a kid's movie. Oh, let me look. Yeah, movie's PG. Say. But, is there anything good about this film? Well, like I said, the dad. I like the dad. I cared about him the most. No, I will say that some of the traps are a little funny, but it's just like they redo one of the things. Like in the first film, Harry has a spider crawling on his head, and Marv hits him, But here it's a rat, and it's in the nuts. So it's just like, and it's just like, he does these, he puts these traps. This is where he's worse than Kevin, because he sets up these traps in the middle of the night when his family is sleeping, and then doesn't expect his family to come across them the next day. Like, his mom has to go in the closet and get her jacket, but he stops her because if he does, she'll get punched into the JJ with the punching thing that hits the other guy in the nuts later. Honestly, I've seen this other kid, Alex D. Linz. I've seen him in other things. I think he's a fantastic kid actor. He's no Macaulay Culkin, though. There's just so much that frustrates me, including one particular moment that made me freak out so much, I blacked it out for a little bit. But I freaked out. I came in here, I threw a fucking tantrum because this is so fucking impossible. So, the scene is this. The crook lady calls Alex's house saying that she's the mother of one of his school friends and that Alex took the toy car from her son. Alex figured this out and hangs up and hands his mom the correct phone number. So you think, okay, she's going to call and she's going to find out Alex is right and that whoever that was lying. No, because we got to keep this plot going. They somehow, in 1997, have the technology to intercept the fucking phone call. Bullshit! There's no way 1997 they would have that kind of... Hold on, excuse me. You yell too much, your throat gets dry. There's no way they would have that kind of technology in 1997. Unless you're high up in the government, which they are not, they would not have that technology. But overall, one more thing. This is not a Christmas movie. Other than a wreath hanging on a door, snow, and one instance of Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow playing on the radio, there's no Christmas in it. So I don't know why I'm dressed up like this. I'm a Goomba. I don't know. But anyway, if I have to rate it, give it a 6. It was decent. It was fine. Not as good as the other two. I will never watch 4 because it's a disgrace to the first two. And 5 just never appealed to me. But here you go. Home Alone 3. So what are your thoughts on Home Alone 3 in the comments below? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. I need more eggnog. Bye-bye.